Right, so now we've got to come to the real fun of equations, and that's, now we know how to simplify and manipulate in algebra to make the expressions a little bit easier. And here we can see we have one equation and one unknown, so it's really easy to solve. What we can do is, there's two different methods. There's the simple method of just trying to cover over with your hand. Something plus 4 equals 16. Well, 12 plus 4 equals 16. So that's sort of in a way given me what 3x must equal. 3x must equal 12 because 3x plus 4 is 16. So 3x must equal 12. If I know that 3 lots of x equals 12, what does x equal? Well, 3 times something equals 12. 3 times 4 equals 12. So x must equal 4. And that's sort of the covering over with your hand method that you can start using algebra. And you can do this for quite a long time. But if we'd like to know how to do it a little bit more mathematically, the way we should think of it is the first thing we should do is try and move any pluses and minuses to the other side of the equal sign. And that means if x is here, we try and move anything else that's plus or minus x to the other side. If x was over this side, we'd be trying to move anything that was plus and minus x over to the other side. So we're trying to get x by itself. So my first thing here, I'd leave the 3x as it is because it's multiplied by 3. I want to get rid of this plus 4. Here's a plus 4. How can I get rid of the plus 4? Well, I can take away, I'm allowed to do whatever I want in maths. It's like a scale. I'm allowed to do whatever I want as long as I do the same thing to both sides. So if I take away 4 on this side of the equal sign, I have to take away 4 on this side of the equal sign. 4 minus 4 is 0. So it means that I basically move this plus 4 over to the other side. 4 minus 4 is 0. There's nothing there anymore on the left-hand side, except for my 3x. I then have equals 16 minus 4, which equals 12. So as you do these time and time again, you sort of get used to the fact that, all right, I want to get rid of this plus 4, I'll move it over to the other side of the equal sign, it turns into a minus 4. If it had been minus 4 on this side and I'd moved it over to the other side, it would have changed sign into a plus 4. So that's the skill that you get once you've done them a while. I don't want to know what 3 lots of x are, I want to know what 1 lot of x is. So to get rid of the 3 in front of the x, I could divide this side of my equal sign by 3. 3 divided by 3 would give me 1x. If I divide this sign of the equal sign by 3, I have to do it to this sign as well. So I get 3 divided by 3 is 1, giving me 1 lot of x is 12 over 3, which is 4. Which of course is the same answer we got with covering our hand over. Let's look at a few more and see what we would do with these ones then. We have 3 lots of 3x plus 4 equals 15. This 3x plus 4 is in the bracket, so I'd probably leave it there. Because the easiest thing to do at the moment would be actually to divide both sides of my equation by 3. If I divide both sides by 3, I get rid of this 3 here that I really don't want. So I then get that 3x plus 4 equals 15 divided by 3, which is 5. Now I've got 3x plus 4, I've got a plus here, so I want to take it over to the other side. I'll get 3x equals 5, move the 4 over to the other side, change the sign into a minus, minus 4. So 3 lots of x equals 1. 1 lot of x, divide both sides of my equation by 3. 1 lot of x is going to equal 1/3. And that's how we would work it through. The important thing here is, if you're not comfortable with this move to the other side and change the sign, you have to do subtract 4 from both sides as your first step. Let's look at the next one. 6 plus 5 times n minus 1 equals 6n minus 2. Well, before I can start doing anything, I have to get rid of these brackets out here. Because I can't do anything until these brackets are gone, because there's not just one term here, there's a 6 plus. So I have to expand the brackets. 6 plus 5 lots of n, plus 5 times minus 1 is minus 5, equals 6n minus 2. Oh, now I've got to decide, do I want to keep my n on this side, or do I want to move my n over to the other side? I would move this 5n over to that side. Why? Because I'll get changing the sign of this plus 5n, so it will become minus 5n on the other side. And then I'll get 6n minus 5n, which will give me plus n on the right-hand side. If I move the 6n over to the other side, I'd get 5 minus 6, which would give me minus n on the left-hand side. And that's trickier. So let's start by just moving all the n's together. So 6 minus 5 is 1, plus 5n. And we're going to take away 5n from this side to get rid of this 5n, equals 6n minus 2. We're not doing anything with this in this step. And we're taking away 5n from here too. So I now have 5n minus 5n giving me 0. I have that 1 equals 6n minus 5n is n minus 2. I'm not quite ready because I've still got a little number here that I want to get rid of. I get rid of that by adding 2 to both sides of my equation. My 2 minus 2 will give me 0. I'll get n. 2 plus 1 is 3. N equals 3 or 3 equals n. It doesn't matter which side n is on. If I'd moved the 6n to the other side, I'd have got minus 3 equals minus n, and then the minus signs would have cancelled. So I'd have got the same answer, but this is a little bit simpler. So we get that n equals 3 on that expression. Then we'll look at this very last one to finish off with. 6 equals 5 lots of n minus 1 minus 2 lots of 3n minus 1. First thing we have to do is get rid of all the brackets. So we get 6 equals 5n minus 5 minus 2 times 3n is 6n. Minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 2. Collect all our n's together. We have 5n minus 6n giving us minus n. Minus 5 plus 2 giving us minus 3. So we get 6 equals minus n minus 3. If I add n to both sides of my equation here, I'd get rid of this negative n on the right-hand side, which I really don't want. And I would get n plus 6 equals minus 3. Now I'd like to move this plus 6 over to the other side, so I subtract minus 6 to both sides, giving us n plus 6 minus 6 equals minus 3 minus 6. So that turns into 0, and n equals minus 9. So we've solved all those different equations to get an answer for n or x or whatever it is. One equation, one unknown. You can always simplify it by moving x's and numbers to different side of the equal sign.